What if the life you desire isn't something you achieve, but a reality you select? If you have been waiting, praying, and struggling, only to see the same reality reflected back at you, listen closely. You are not failing. You are simply using your infinite power, in reverse. There is a secret to living from the end, from the state of the wish fulfilled. It is not about faking it. It is a deep mystical shift that takes place in the only reality that matters, your own consciousness. In the next few minutes, you will not learn a new technique. You will awaken a memory of your true power as the operant force in your world. Stay with me, because by the end of this you will understand why what you feel right now is more real than anything you can see, and you will hold the key to collapsing the illusion of time and stepping into the life that's already yours. Stop, just for a moment. Feel the space you're in. You believe you are waiting, don't you? Waiting for the money, for the love, for the recognition to finally arrive. You've marked a spot in the future, a distant shore where your ship will finally come in. But this is the great deception, the most subtle trap of the human mind. Time is not a line you travel upon. It is a mirror. It does not bring you things. It reflects the state you currently inhabit. Every moment you spend in the state of waiting is a powerful declaration to the universe that you do not have. It is an affirmation of absence. Your consciousness, the only operant power, is faithfully sculpting your world to match this inner conviction. You are not waiting for your desire. You are actively, powerfully creating the experience of waiting itself. The future is a ghost you keep alive with your longing, a phantom that promises fulfillment but only delivers more distance, because distance is what you are assuming. Oh, but this goes deeper. This feeling of a future reality, just out of reach, is a story you tell yourself, a hypnotic lullaby to keep you from your own power. You think of your desire as over there, separate from the here you now stand in, but there is no over there in the kingdom of consciousness. There is only here, always. Your imagination is not a tool for daydreaming about a future. It is the workshop where you forge the present. When you say it will come, you are casting a spell that pushes it away. You are commanding it to remain in the realm of will be, forever postponed. Your I amness, your true identity, can only function in the now. It cannot assume a future state. It can only be. So what are you being, right now? Are you being the person who has it, or are you being the person who is endlessly hoping for it? The universe doesn't hear your words of want. It feels the vibration of your being, responds to the state from which you operate. And a state of waiting is a silent, desperate prayer for more emptiness. Now, let this sink in. Waiting is not passive. It is an act of creation, a dark art of self-sabotage. Every sunset you watch, believing you are one day closer, you are actually reinforcing the prison bars of time. You are confirming the lack. This is the ultimate paradox. By waiting for your desire, you are ensuring it never arrives. Why? Because the feeling of waiting is the polar opposite of the feeling of having. They are two entirely different states of consciousness, two separate worlds. You cannot stand in one and expect to experience the other. You are the gardener of your reality, and your feelings are the seeds. A seed of waiting can only ever grow a harvest of more waiting. It cannot, by its very nature, yield the fruit of fulfillment. You have been diligently planting the very weeds you wish to escape, wondering why your garden is barren of roses. Your devotion to the clock on the wall has made you a servant to illusion when you were born to be its master. But that's only the surface of this deep deception. Here's what changes everything. You must collapse time. Not by force, not by struggle, but by a subtle, internal shift. The escape is not forward, it is inward. Right now, in this very breath, you have the power to step out of the timeline of lack and into the reality of fulfillment. Close your eyes. Can you feel it? The desire is not in the future. It is a parallel reality, a potential state existing. Now, your imagination is the doorway. It is the only door. You do not need to build a bridge to your desire. You need only to open your eyes to the fact that you are already standing in that promised land. The feeling of the wish fulfilled is not a reward for when it arrives. It is the cause of its arrival. You must feel it first. Feeling is the key. It is the language that impresses upon the formless substance of consciousness, giving it form. Stop looking outside of yourself for a sign. The sign must come from within you. The feeling is the sign. Therefore, the past is but a memory of a former state, and the future is but a projection of your current one. There is only this eternal moment of I am, and in this moment, you choose. You select your reality. Are you selecting the timeline of endless becoming, or are you selecting the timeless state of already being? This is the secret. Time doesn't heal or bring, it only reveals what you have assumed. It is a loyal servant, and it will stretch or shrink according to the dictates of your inner world. If you assume the state of having your desire, time becomes a bridge of incidents that leads you to its physical manifestation. But if you assume the state of waiting, time becomes a wall. The illusion isn't time itself, but your belief that you are subject to it. You are not. It is subject to you. And this reveals an even deeper error most people make. The very act of seeking what you believe you do not have, and so you see it now. This fundamental error, the act of seeking, You have been trained to believe that pursuit is noble, that searching is the path to finding. But in the laws of consciousness, to seek is to broadcast a signal of lack. It is a powerful prayer for separation. Every time you yearn, you are telling the universe, I am without, and the universe, which is only your own deeper self, lovingly responds, so you are. It cannot give you what you want. It can only give you what you are. A seeker can only find more reasons to seek. The state of searching is a self-perpetuating reality. It's a maze you build with your own footsteps, a thirst that is never quenched because the very act of thirsting affirms the absence of water. The power that creates worlds is not moved by your begging, it is moved by your being. It responds, not to your pleas, but to your identity, your I am. And as long as your identity is that of a seeker, your treasure will always remain just over the horizon. But that's only half of the story. Here's what changes everything. You must stop seeking and start assuming. An assumption is not a hope, it is not a wish. It is a silent, internal act of appropriation. It is the selection of a reality. Seeking is loud, desperate, and full of effort. Assuming is quiet, confident, and effortless. It is the simple decision to occupy a new state of being. You do not fight for it, you consent to it. Imagine this. Seeking is like standing outside a house in the rain, begging to be let in. Assuming is the quiet realization that you hold the key in your own hand, and have been holding it all along. It is the end of the struggle. It is the cessation of the hunt. You simply stop being the person who is without, and you begin, in your own imagination, to be the person who has. You already are everything you could ever desire. The assumption is the act of remembering this forgotten truth. It's a shift in consciousness so subtle, yet so profound it alters the very fabric of space and time around you. The operant power is your own imagination, and it accepts your assumptions as fact. When you truly assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you are impressing this new reality upon the only creative substance in the universe. This is not about forcing yourself to think positive thoughts. That is still effort, still a form of seeking. No, this is about surrender. You surrender to the feeling. You clothe yourself in the new state. What would it feel like, right now, if your desire were a present fact? Don't think about it. Feel it. Let that feeling permeate your being. This is the silent decision. It's a change in your inner world that requires no outer validation. You walk differently. You breathe differently. There is a calm certainty that replaces the anxious hoping. This is the state of assumption. It is a sacred marriage within your own soul, the union of your current awareness with your desired reality. And from this union, a new world must be born. The assumption is the seed. Your inner world is the womb. Now, go deeper. Listen to your inner conversations. The seeker's mind is full of questions. When will it come? How will it happen? Am I doing it right? It is a dialogue of doubt. But the mind that is truly assumed speaks a different language. Its inner talk is one of gratitude and wonder. Isn't it wonderful? Thank you. It is done. These are not affirmations you repeat to convince yourself. They are the natural overflow of a consciousness that is already convinced. They are the symptoms of the new state. Your inner speech is a constant prayer, whether you know it or not. It is the helm that steers your ship. By changing your assumption, you automatically change your inner conversations. And when your inner world is saturated with the feeling of fulfillment, the outer world has no choice but to conform. It is law. Your assumption, if persisted in, must harden into fact. Your I amness will not be denied. What are you assuming you are, right now? So the great secret is to abandon the chase. The treasure is not outside of you. It never was. The error of seeking keeps you locked in a state of perpetual incompletion. Assumption is the key that unlocks the door from the inside. It is a silent, graceful fall into the reality of your choice. It is a quiet knowing, a peaceful finality. The frantic energy of the hunt dissolves into the serene confidence of the one who has already arrived. You stop looking for signs and you become the sign. This is the end of the spiritual search. For you have found the searcher, the I am within. You have found the power. But this power, this silent assumption, needs a way to express itself, to make itself known in this three-dimensional world. It needs an instrument. And that instrument is far closer than you think. That instrument, the one that gives your silent assumption, a voice that echoes through the cosmos, is your own body. You have been taught to see it as a limitation, a dents, the vessel that separates you from spirit, a lie. Your body is the most sacred altar, the living earth in which the seed of your assumption must be planted. Your mind can entertain an idea, but your body must live its reality. It is the sounding board for your consciousness. It is the ultimate subconscious mind, absorbing and expressing the truth of the state you occupy. When you assume you are wealthy, what is the posture of your body? When you assume you are loved, what is the rhythm of your breath? Your body is the operant power made flesh. It does not lie. You can think 1,000 fleeting thoughts, but the deep convictions held within your cells are what truly shape your world. This is not about the mind, this is about embodiment. Here is the code the universe reads without fail: feeling. And feeling is not an abstract emotion floating in your head. It is a physical sensation. Feeling is the key, the master code. The creative power does not understand your spoken language of want or need. It understands the universal, primal language of vibration, of physical frequency. And that is what feeling is. What is the actual, physical sensation of relief, of security, of profound gratitude? Can you generate that warmth in your chest, that relaxation in your shoulders, that quiet, confident hum in your solar plexus? That is the language of God. Your thoughts may be the architect's blueprint, but the feeling you generate in your body is the electric current that flows through the wires, bringing the entire structure to life. Without this current, the blueprint is just a dead wish on a piece of paper. You must feel it in the flesh. Now we go deeper into the mystery. This is the act of sacred embodiment. You must begin to physically inhabit the new state. It's not about faking it. It is an act of alignment. It is closing the gap between your inner world selection and your physical vessel. Walk as the person who has already succeeded. Breathe as the person who is already loved. Let your muscles relax into the posture of one who has no worries. Your body becomes the anchor for your assumption. When your logical mind inevitably begins to waver, when it looks for outside proof and finds none, the felt sense in your body calls it back home. The body teaches the mind. Its physical memory of the feeling of fulfillment becomes more real, more convincing than any illusion the outer world presents. You anchor your new reality in your very bones, making it your default state of being. This is a primal language, older and more powerful than words. Before you had language, you had sensation. Before you had complex thought, you had a visceral response to the world. That is the level on which creation operates. A feeling held consistently within the body is a command that creation cannot ignore. A passing thought of abundance is a whisper easily lost in the wind, but the sustained, physical feeling of security is a roar. It is a signal you are sending from the core of your I amness, a vibration so clear and so potent that the entire universe must begin to rearrange itself to match its tone. You are no longer just thinking about your desire. You are broadcasting its living signature into the field of all possibilities. You are becoming a magnet, a resonant chamber for the reality you have chosen. So, the mind assumes the new reality. The body becomes the instrument that feels its truth. This is the sacred union. When your physical sensations are in complete alignment with your inner assumption, the circuit is complete. You are a fully realized creative unit. You are no longer a person asking for something. You are a vortex attracting its own. You are not manifesting something in the distance. You are vibrating in harmony with what already is. You are radiating the frequency of completion. The outside world then has no choice but to reflect this finished work back to you as physical experience. But here lies the most dangerous pitfall, the place where so many turn back just before the dawn. It is the great test of faith, the common mistake that shatters the vessel just as it is about to fill. And this is the precipice where giants stumble. This is the great mistake. After you have assumed the state, after you have felt its reality in your body, you make the fatal error of opening your eyes and looking to your five senses for confirmation. You look at the world of shadows for proof of the light. But your senses can only report on the past. They are historians, not prophets. They show you the crystallized result of your former states of consciousness. To look at your current circumstances and let them dictate your inner feeling is to chain yourself to a reality that is already dead. It is to give your power away to a memory. This is the tyranny of the eye, the lie of the ear. Your assumption is the new cause. The world you currently see is the old effect. To give authority to the old effect is to abort the new cause before it can ever be born. You are planting a glorious seed and then pouring salt on the soil because a flower did not bloom instantly. You must understand this. Visible reality is a delayed reflection of your inner world. There is always a gestation period, an appointed interval for the unseen to weave its magic and manifest as the seen. This is not a flaw in the law, it is the law. It is the divine darkroom where the image you impressed upon your consciousness is developed. To demand to see it before it is ready is to flood the room with light and destroy the film forever. Your loyalty is not to the world of Caesar, the world of facts and figures. Your loyalty must be to the unseen reality within you, the kingdom of your imagination. That is the only true reality. Everything you see around you, every person, every circumstance, was first an assumption, an imaginal act. The world is your mirror, but it has a slight delay. To be impatient with a mirror is to forget that you are the one casting the reflection. Trust the process. The image is already there. Here is a truth that will set you free or keep you imprisoned. Doubt is not a passive observation. Doubt is a creative act. When you look at your world and feel the sting of its absence, you are not merely being realistic. You are actively creating more absence. You are making a new, powerful assumption, the assumption of lack. In that moment of doubt, you have cancelled your divine order. You have disrobed yourself of the feeling of the wish fulfilled and put on the old familiar garment of longing. And the operant power within you, your I am, which is eternally faithful to your deepest conviction, immediately begins to build a world that matches your doubt. You become the prophet of your own failure. Your doubt is a prayer for evidence of more doubt. And the universe, which is your obedient servant, must answer that prayer. Do you see? The mistake is not in the seeing. It is in the believing of what you see over what you have assumed. The only escape is a radical, stubborn loyalty to the unseen. You must become blind to the facts that contradict your assumption. You must become deaf to the voices of reason that tell you to be realistic. This is true faith, not a weak hope, but a powerful refusal to accept any reality other than the one you have chosen in your imagination. You must live more in your inner, the world, than you do in the outer one. When the shadow of doubt appears, you do not fight it. You simply, quietly, return to the feeling. You return to the anchor in your body. You put on the wedding garment of your assumption once more. You trust the I am within you more than you trust the world that the I am created from your past assumptions. You walk by the light of your inner vision, not by the flickering shadows of the world. This is the discipline of the masters. This is the art of selection. When you master this loyalty, you are truly living in the end. You are not pretending. You are living in the real reality, the causal world of your consciousness, and allowing the outer world the time it needs to catch up. The common mistake is believing after seeing. The divine secret is believing into seeing. Your persistent, faithful assumption is the irresistible force that compels your desire to manifest. It has no choice, it must come. The world must reshape itself around your sustained conviction. When you reach this point of unwavering inner knowing, you discover something magnificent. You'll realize that the feeling of fulfillment isn't a reward you get at the end of the journey. It is the vehicle for the journey itself. And this reveals the final, most profound secret of all. A secret about joy that turns the entire human model of happiness completely upside down. Here at last is the secret that crowns all others. It is the key that unlocks the final door, and it is this: you have believed that joy is the reward you receive after your desire is realized. This is the greatest inversion of the law. Joy is not the effect, it is the cause. Gratitude is not something you feel after your prayer is answered, it is the very frequency of the answered prayer itself. You think, when I have the love, the health, the money, then I will feel joy. But the universe hears this as a confession of your current state of joylessness. The final secret is to reverse this. You must feel the joy, the gratitude, the peace of the wish fulfilled before there is any evidence of it in your world. The feeling is not the destination, it is the engine. It is the magnetic center that draws the manifestation to you. You do not get your desire and then feel happy. You feel happy, and thus your desire appears. Why is this so? Because joy is the energetic signature of completion. It is the vibration of a reality that is already whole, already perfect. When you allow yourself to feel genuine joy and gratitude for no outer reason, simply by claiming your desire as true in your imagination, you are vibrating at the frequency of the finished creation. You are aligning your consciousness with it. The state of it is done, and the law of creation, which is absolute, must give you the experiences that match this inner state. A consciousness saturated with joy and thankfulness cannot, and will not, experience lack and delay. It becomes a magnetic vortex for more reasons to be joyful. You are signaling to the cosmos that you are complete. And the universe, which is only your own magnificent self, rushes to confirm your new self-concept with wonderful, tangible proofs. So, how do you practice this? You cultivate the Sabbath of the soul. You enter your inner world and you feel the reality of your assumption, and then you give thanks. Not a loud, performative thanks born of hope, but a deep, quiet, cellular gratitude. A gratitude that says, "Thank you, Father, for it is already mine." This gratitude is a solvent that dissolves all doubt. How can you be anxious for something for which you are already thankful? How can you be impatient for that which you already possess in the only true reality? You cannot. This feeling of thankfulness is the evidence. It is the proof you were looking for. It is the feeling of the naturalness of your desire. You rest in this feeling. You walk through your day saturated with this quiet joy, this serene certainty. The work is finished, and you are simply enjoying the glow of its completion before it casts its shadow into the physical world. This changes everything. You are not a beggar, pleading with a distant deity for a crumb from its table. You are a sun. You are a center of creative power, radiating the feeling state of your choice. And the world, like a system of planets, has no choice but to arrange itself around the gravity of your being. You are not trying to attract a thing. You are emanating a state. The feeling is the light you radiate. If you radiate the darkness of need and seeking, you will experience a dark world. If you radiate the golden light of joy and fulfillment, you will experience a world that is golden. Stop chasing the reflections in the mirror. I am is the statement of being, not seeking. Be the person you wish to be. Feel the joy they would feel. Radiate the love they would radiate. This is the highest form of selection. You select the being, and the doing and the having take care of themselves. So, the search is over. The illusion of time, the error of seeking, the trap of doubt, they all dissolve in the light of this final understanding. Joy is not the prize. Joy is the power. It is the alpha and the omega of creation. It is the feeling that begins the imaginal act and the feeling that confirms its completion. Your desire, when you imagine it, is not meant to be a source of anxiety, but a doorway to a state of joy that you can enter now. You already are that which you seek. Your journey is not to find it, but to simply accept it, to feel the profound joy of this acceptance. Live in that joy, bathe in it, radiate it, for that feeling right now is the first light of your new dawn. It is finished. You are no longer looking at reality. You are creating it. The feeling you hold right now is not a reaction to your world. It is the powerful, silent command that is building your world for tomorrow. So, the only question left is, what state are you choosing to embody right now? Let me know in the comments what you are now assuming to be true for you. If this has awakened something within you, subscribe and turn on your notifications, because this journey inward is just beginning, and don't stop here. The next video will show you how to make your inner world so real that the outer world has no choice but to obey. Click it now, and go deeper.